Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Mysterious Gear 6351 from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit and says, am I the arsehole here for not letting sister use my property as a wedding venue? It starts. So me and my husband own a livery yard and he's a riding instructor. We have students come to ride at our property and people who pay to stable their horses here and use the facilities. Last year my sister asked if she could use part of the orchard for a small wedding. I said I could square off an area for a while if needed. She wanted 2 days, one for the wedding and another for a baby shower. I agreed under the assumption her demands would be reasonable. Now, she is set to get married in May and just messaged me with what she wants for a wedding. No strangers or clients there. No general hustle and bustle around the yard. Workers. Empty stables for some of her games. Baby shower. No horse odor around the venue itself. No horses around her / in background of pictures. Access to indoor riding arena for main baby shower event. No kids on the yard as she wants a child-free wedding. I told her I cannot refuse livery clients as they pay good money for unrestricted access, but I can ask them to keep clear of the event and box off our area. This goes for the kids too. We have kids stabling their horses here. Have no right to cut off their access for a day or two. I cannot send away all our grooms for 2 days. The horses still need to be cared for and these people rely on their jobs. It's not fair on them. I can't eliminate the smell of horses. There are still horses living there. It's a stable. It will smell like a stable. I cannot remove all horses from the background of an open field. Again, they need turnout and the clients pay for their horses to have access to the fields. Overall, I told her I will keep people away from the main event and try to keep it as empty as possible. Both with people and horses, but it is still an active business and cannot stop working for a few days. I don't want to let down a lot of our long-term clients. Some have been with us for 10 plus years and we rely on constant customers to stay afloat. We went back and forth between what was reasonable and what she wanted for a while. She then swore at me full volume in public, insulted both me and my husband and called our place a shithole. She then went to our mum and complained I'm being selfish and going back on my promise. Both her and my mum are pressuring me, or trying to, into letting her have her way. They say I'm putting money over a special day and not thinking of her. They're not tight on money. There are venues that they can rent and have every one of their demands met. Am I putting money over her? Is this a shitty thing to do? I'm not trying to prioritize business over her, but I feel her demands are becoming a bit entitled. Feeling torn as half my family say it's a special day and I should try to accommodate and the other half say it's my property and have the right to choose. I know I'm going back on my word, but she changed some pretty big details. Thoughts? I would have noped out of that situation pretty quickly soon as she started listing those demands, to be quite honest, because she's asking to use an active livery yard for free, I'm assuming, and then acting shocked that it functions like a livery yard. I mean, whatever the demands was what? No horse odor, where there's bloody horses. Oh, dearie me. And then she's trying to disrupt your business with paying clients barred from accessing places that they paid for. And again, another one, horses hidden from the photographs. Well, what do you want to do with these horses? At the moment she turned around and called the place a shithole after asking to use it as her wedding venue would have been the absolute end for me. If it's a shithole, go and find your own bloody place, you cheeky so-and-so. Should have just replied to her in that moment, you're right, it's obviously not the venue that you're looking for and I hope you find somewhere that better suits your vision. A commenter says, I'm still stuck on the not smelling like horses thing. If you don't want to smell horses, don't go to a place where there are horses. Someone says, fellow lifelong equestrian and your sister is absolutely batshit crazy and entitled. How are you supposed to not turn out horses for a whole day? Never mind 2. Horses need care, turnout and stall mucked. Manure, it said shit happens, but manure happens. Our horses have their stalls cleaned in the morning, then a quick pick of the stalls after feeding and dinner before everything is closed up for the night. Also, maybe I definitely am biased, but horses in the fields or backgrounds in an event would just make it more beautiful. I thought that as well, having horses in the background at a wedding. Sounds like a dream scenario. Anyway, OP continues, it's insane. I think it's because we're not a horsey family, and she knows next to nothing about horses, and her asking for no staff and clients to be present, unless she's willing to do all the work herself for those 2 days, that's out of the question. show season as well. A commenter says, it's not even about the money so much as it's hurting your business. I was paying the money it cost to stable my horse and be told I can't come for 2 days. I would find somewhere else for my horse and it would definitely get around to other people. Your business would suffer. Opie says, this was my main fear. The horse community is very connected. Once you had a bad reputation in your area, it's extremely hard to bounce back. Commenter says, it sounds like both your sister and your mum are willing to jeopardize your business relationships for a one-time event. You seem to have been pretty reasonable, and she rather extreme in her wants. I know the horse business, and there's no way what she's asking for would work in a working horse barn/farm. Are you supposed to air out the fields or something? Opie says, I don't think they're trying to be malicious. They're genuinely so far up their own arse they can't comprehend other people's point of view if it goes against their little plan. They genuinely don't understand that their little plan is impossible. I suppose she wants me to air out the horses and stop them shitting for the day. Opie goes on to talk about their relationship with their mum and says, thank you. I tolerate my mum at family events once a year. I'm not close with most of them except my siblings, so I'm not overly stressed about it. Just glad I'm secure enough to be alright without them. About the sister, Opie says, true. She just always had things go her way with no pushback. She was never taught to regulate emotions and deal with rejection, or any difficult emotions for that matter. And to be perfectly honest, she didn't go 0 to 100. We had a long back and forth beforehand. She's always been a little out of touch. Mum as well. They had a habit of bouncing off each other and making life very difficult. I just never thought about it until now. It appears I dodged a bullet. Someone says, why this venue? And Opie says, running theory is she wants a wedding similar to mine, as we had ours on the property shortly after purchasing. She's not a horsey person at all, so I'm just as confused. My mother is just as bonkers. They bounce off each other and end up in these situations surprisingly often. And nope, we have parking but enough bathroom facilities for around 50, not 200, which I think is part of the reason she originally said it was a small wedding. Opie says, both our house and barn toilets are on septic, so she would have had to rent some form of portable toilets, given the facilities are also a good 10-minute walk uphill from where she wants the main venue. Then Opie does update the post and says, my sister and mother have decided to cut me off until I apologize and let her host. I'm not close enough with either to sacrifice our business. Her fiancé reached out to apologize on her behalf and tell me he wasn't aware she left it so short notice and acted like this. He's a great guy. Still not talking to them though. I can't lock this, but for now all is resolved. I'm not hosting her and I'm not talking to her or my mother right now. They've been told if they show up, we will not hesitate to get them done for trespassing. I just want to say thank you for all the advice, kind words and replies. I likely won't be able to get back to each and every one, but I appreciate everyone who took the time out of their day to read this plus comment. Commenter says, I don't know if anyone has said this, but be extra watchful on the days of the wedding and baby shower. She may show up with everyone and act like you went back on your word. I don't know if it makes things better or worse, but let a few people know what happened or make a post if you're comfortable with that. So if she tries to turn it around on you, you have a positive defense. Opie says thank you. We have agreed and notified our customers we're staying locked up for that weekend. I've sent out emails to immediate family saying we are not hosting anything and not attending their wedding at all, so hopefully that will discourage her. Commenter says, wouldn't the invitations have been sent out by now, stating the location? Opie says, possibly. She hadn't actually started planning or filled me in on anything, so I'm not exactly sure. I hope not. We will likely lock the main gate the day of and hope that works. Commenter says, so where is she having her wedding now? Because that self-centered entitled princess wouldn't be stepping a foot on my property after swearing at me like that. Who does she think she is? Opie says she doesn't have the time to book a nice venue, or any venue for that matter. Who knows where she'll go? I hope it's a raging disappointment though. And one more commenter says, what would you do if your sister comes to you and wants it at your place anyhow? Say last minute because she just couldn't manage to get her own venue. Opie says if push comes to shove, my husband said he will call the police and escort them for trespassing. I've told her this. I really hope she counts her losses and reschedules if that's the case. I really hope there's another update down the line that it did turn out boring and this person didn't approach Opie again, because I find it absolutely wild that in the comments, and it's probably good advice with some of the stories that we read, that you're having to lock the gate the day of because she might turn up and expect the wedding with a bunch of people anyway. She's having to barricade herself in just in case the sister does turn up. That is wild, isn't it? It's like one of those survival games where you get an X amount of time to make barricades before like a horde of enemies comes at you and it gets progressively harder. Except in this, it's the sister. But good on OP for standing her ground in the end and hopefully not backing down. But what do you guys make of this situation What would you do if you was OP? How would you deal with it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Our next story comes from XPSD Throwaway from the Relationships subreddit and says, my 25 male, girlfriend 25 female, dating for 2 years, has been sharing all the intimate and private details of our relationship with her friend and following every single piece of advice to the point that it feels like an affair. This is something that has appeared out of the blue, and I'm not fully equipped to deal with it at all. It's completely changed how I view our relationship over the past year. So, to cut to the chase, I ended up reading text between my girlfriend and her friend, 26 female. Let's call her Nami. Because at a party, Nami had made a suggestive comment to me about pegging and how all men should try it the day after my girlfriend finally convinced me to. In my defense, I just wanted to know if they were talking about it because this was not something I felt comfortable to have discussed outside of our bedroom. Nami is an ex-girlfriend of my college roommate and is dating someone else I don't interact with now. So my girlfriend, let's say Tanya, has been discussing everything with Nami. They text about almost nothing else. I scrolled so far back in time that I exported the contents of their conversation to read on my computer. The conversations are tough to wrap my head around, and they would be something like, what should I wear? Wear the red dress. Nami would tell Tanya what to wear for dates, what to shop for, tell her how to respond to any arguments we had, and also how to perform in bed. The time she cosplayed in bed, Nami says. Naughty photo she sent me, Nami says. The personalized gift she made me for my birthday, Nami says. Preparing me for months apparently, pegging, Nami says. You get the picture, it's like a daily routine. I don't know what they shared beyond textual information, but this is everything she said and done to me for the past year, and it seems to have started a year ago. This lady apparently now knows how I eat, sleep and fuck. This is not something I consented to, man. I'm not naive, and it seems to me almost like they've got some kind of subtle dom sub thing going on. There seems to be no evidence for physically cheating on me, and I really doubt she would do something like that, but I hope you understand that I don't trust anything around me anymore. So I need to confront my girlfriend. But, like, how? What? Is this relationship ending stuff? I mean, it was all fine till literally 3 hours ago. I'm extremely happy with her. Was. Might continue to be, but what? How do you react to something like this? Please, I just need to bounce this off people. I know it's super specific and identifiable, but neither of them are on Reddit, so I guess it's okay. Them finding something like this later, I'm not concerned with. Opie adds in a comment, and to clarify, my first thought was that they probably text instead of discussing it in person, because Tanya and Nami don't get the time to meet all that often. I know what you'll say, but I know that they don't meet often, and Nami's little comment at the party was before Tanya even got there, so well, there's that. Baron M says to OP, dude, what? I'm not sure if you're actually involved with Tanya, because from where I'm standing, it seems more like you're involved with Nami, without prior knowledge and consent. This kind of shit is huge breach of trust. Now maybe Tanya is really clueless when it comes to relationships and has come to rely on Nami for some help, and some conversations about your relationship I can understand, but the depth they've gone into is just plain fucking terrifying. Quoting, so I need to confront my girlfriend, but like how, and then says, invite her over and tell her you need to talk about something. Simplest approach really does work best. Quoting, is this relationship ending stuff? And says, honestly for me, it would. I value my privacy, and even my closest friends, whom I've known for more than a decade, aren't privy to what goes on in the bedroom or the like. And this isn't even like she's offhandedly mentioning something from your relationship. She just discloses everything to her, relies on this Nami for everything. For you, depends on how things go, whether anything will change from here on. Quoting, how do you react to something like this? And then says, weirded out to say the least. Your panic, your fears are not misplaced. Time to have a talk with Tanya and see where things go from there. Opie responds saying, yes, exactly. I mean, if I read about this happening to someone else, I'm the arsehole that would type out the threesome comment. This just happened, it's so weird. That said, I mean, it's not like every conversation was Truman Show-esque scripted or something. Just all these major, significant, a better word, choices, you know. Like she's handed over the decision of making authority to someone else, like a personal magic 8-ball. But this is a person that I know. It's so messed up. Opie then quotes the other commenter saying invite her over and tell her you need to talk about something, and says, ah man, yes, but like, any advice on how to broach the topic? Just go at it blunt like ripping off a band-aid. This is going to be such an awkward conversation. Here I was thinking I've been in such a drama-free relationship. Edit, and thanks for responding. The commenter come back at OP and says, I can't help you there. I'm guessing you'd want to ease into it without too much fuss or drama. I'm the kind of person who tends to go right for the jugular and doesn't really do much preambling. I suppose it depends on what Tanya's like. But that's the catch here. You don't know what she's really like. OP says, well, it seems to have started just a year ago. It's not like her personality is altered. I guess directly confronting her with something like, look, sit down, I just need to talk about this. So I've read all the text with Nami and you need to help me understand what the fuck is going on or something. The commenter says to OP, wow, that's seriously messed up. This is a massive violation of trust and privacy. You have to realize and understand that you haven't been dating Tanya. You've been dating Nami and Tanya's body. Remember this when you are talking to Tanya and when you make any decision. Choosing to stay with Tanya means that you'll almost have to start over because you want to know her, not Nami. Personally, I just cut my losses and find someone new, but you have to decide for yourself. Also, this is exactly the reason I'm reluctant to try pegging. I'd never want anyone to know. As for what to say, just print out the entire conversation, sit her down, show her, and ask her to explain. Let her do all the talking. OP says, well again, I guess I've conveyed my anxiousness with the situation, but these aren't the relationship building choices after all. I mean, our relationship is conversations, hobbies. I guess I should count the sexual compatibility under the Nami column. And again, maybe this is why I need the perspective, because mine is that Tanya's still Tanya, but like, you know, messed up erotic pen pal having Tanya. Quoting, also this is exactly the reason I'm reluctant to try pegging, and then says, well, I guess you need to own your own sexuality, man. And while you bring it up, try it if you thought about it. Let's spice things up. My moment's been thoroughly ruined right now though. OP then replies to a long comment and says, someone from the other side. This is an interesting point you made, and I do understand, which is why I was merely hoping for this to be a conversation about how I wish you would have at least not spoken about the pegging with her friend yet. What does worry me is that she seems to be guiding everything about the relationship. What you say is true. Who doesn't know everything about the mysteries of sex? But don't you think it was too explicit details? One more commenter says to OP, does Tanya ask for any of this advice, or is it purely Nami telling her to do all this stuff? I have a friend that I think can't even decide to put pants on in the morning if she doesn't talk to me. She's super codependent in our friendship, and although I love her to pieces, it gets really annoying that she can't decide things for herself. Usually I just try to be helpful and tell her what I would do in this situation, but the stuff that she tells me about her boyfriend is super personal, and I'm sure he would cringe if he knew what she tells me. OP replies saying, hi, just check this thread. It seems to have been blowing up. Telling Nami was telling. It wasn't what dress should I wear N, it was wear the red dress today T. Go commando to work and take a dirty selfie for him, so on and so forth. I understand I'm getting a lot of flack for reading her text, but it was a party, I was high, her phone was around. I messed up and I deserve all the chagrin I'm feeling from some of the responses, but I don't understand how people are equating the two breaches of privacy. To me, even talking about the sex within 24 hours of it was a huge breach to me, and I guess I was paranoid as to Nami knows when she mentioned it. All said, I messed up true. I forget what my point was. I had to fly out of town for work today, and I'm not having this conversation with her anything but face to face. So it was a month later that OP did come back in to update and says I got back from my trip abroad and told her to take some time off and visit me because we needed to talk. She seemed pretty jumpy right from the start. I opened with the fact that Nami had made me feel uncomfortable at the party, that I was sorry for not confronting Tanya about it, but had gone through her phone instead. So I was let off the hook for checking Tanya's phone very easily to my relief, but to the displeasure of many of you, I know, because she burst into tears right then and there. She took a little time to sob while I just sat there saying I just wanted to know what was going on because my imagination was getting the better of me, and for what it's worth, she came clean fully. So Tanya's version is that initially it was just texting to ask for stuff and sex tips etc, but eventually they started trying to fix the problem with her inhibitions. For this, Nami would give her some risque dare for Tanya to complete. It seemed like fun stuff at the start. Singing in the streets, striking conversations with strangers. What made me angry at Tanya is her complicity with the nudes. In my head, these were coming straight to me, but they were going through Nami, who would direct her and then pick and choose. She stopped sending them to her when Nami began to make her feel a bit uncomfortable about it. Tanya says to me at this point was that this did lower her inhibition significantly, but my only response when this conversation happened was, "What the fuck, Tanya?" which I believe was a fair opinion. She said she found it quite easy whenever she was feeling indecisive to just get Nami in on it and do whatever she said. I was appalled at how casually she spoke about that, reminding her that it was my personal life she was also sharing, and that this was unacceptable from someone I considered closest to me. How could I trust you anymore, Tanya? So I did put down an ultimatum. No more talking to Nami, period. At all. For now. Maybe later it could, but no more talking to Nami about us. She goes ahead with it, and a few days later I get a call from Nami. She emails me all the photos that Tanya had sent her and then basically goes all banshee on the phone, calls me a bitch and a cuckold, that Tanya was a nympho slave from day one. Straight up starts sending links to pictures from BDSM websites. For clarity, not pictures of Tanya on websites, just random pictures, saying that this is the stuff she did to her. But you see, Tanya had already shown me all the photos that Nami was claiming she took during their colourful times together. And Nami strangely didn't have any photos of the stuff she was claiming, which I'd think she would definitely have done considering how fucked this all was. So, I don't know. Nami's reveal as being absolutely fucking cray-cray sort of softened my stance on Tanya, but I've still taken a break from our relationship because there was far too much batshit crazy going on. Had to threaten legal action against the Ends tirades about leaking the pictures. It also helped that Tanya and I added that we really didn't care if that came to pass. Thanks for lowering inhibitions, Nami. TLDR, I'm on a break from our relationship. Tanya was behaving irresponsibly, but Nami turned out to be completely mouth foam rabid crazy. I did the Life of Pi thing and chose Tanya's version of events for my peace of mind. I'm sorry for the wall of text. I hope this satisfies any of you that were curious as me as to what the fuck was going on. Commenter, who was downvoted, says, it's perfectly harmless. Just talk with her. Stand your ground. She will stop, trust me. If you don't bring it up further, then she will continue. Opie says, I see your point, but I still needed some time off. It's amicable between the two of us right now. Commodore says, remember your post. I can't believe it has been a month. It seems like Nami is extremely manipulative, and you and Tanya would be better off cutting her out of your lives. Also, I like the Life of Pi reference in your TLDR. Opie says extremely manipulative is understating it, I think. A commenter quotes the Life of Pi again and says, in the Life of Pi there was no evidence except for the oral recounting of the protagonist. This isn't some random guy found on a boat. This is your girlfriend. Are you saying that you know her as well as, and trust her as much as a stranger? Plus, there's Nami just going off the deep end and spouting all that shit. I think that's confirmation enough of what's really going on. Honestly though, if you don't trust your girlfriend, there can be no relationship. You need to figure that out as well as where you guys are going with the relationship next. Opie says that was in jest. I think it's clear I'm with Tanya on this. Just because it wasn't as bad as what Nami made it out to be, doesn't mean it wasn't bad. Commodore says you're not asking for advice, so I just came here to say, yeah, this is all types of messed up. Opie says, yeah, this is just an update post really. I don't mind opinions on all this though. Really helps to bounce it off people. Still being on the fence about Tanya and everything. Commenter replies saying, well, if Tanya goes no contact with this other chick, what will you do? Opie says, try to reconcile I guess, but I don't feel comfortable yet. Another commenter says to OP, yikes, maybe I have a lower tolerance for drama like this, but I would nope the fuck out and wash my hands of the whole situation. OP says you have to understand I had a loving relationship for over a year and this is all sudden to me. I'm wishful maybe, but I like this girl and her personality and booty. Isn't a fabrication of Nami's. Bamp says, you didn't say in your first post that your girlfriend was actually sending nudes to Nami. How could that ever be justified? You don't just send news to a friend to get their opinion. It sounds like there could be more going on than your girlfriend says. Opie says, I didn't know that in my first post. I hadn't checked everything on her phone. I think she's come clean, but it is what it is now. I need time. And one more comment from the elfish one who says, do you really need this kind of nonsense in your life? I'm sure you can find a girlfriend who comes with less drama and stress. Opie says she came with almost none till last month, to be fair. I kinda wish for that. But now I'm going to turn this one straight to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. Truly, it's absolutely amazing. And hopefully I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care and much love.